Thanks for joining me today. In this video, we're going to be talking about all the different kinds of RC vehicles, machines, devices, the different kind of classes, the difference between like a buggy and a crawler, and just everything that you can get. We're going to talk about drones, airplanes, tanks, motorcycles, boats, just about everything. Just a quick overview for anybody who doesn't know anything about RCs and they're not sure what they really want to get. So stay tuned, we're going to get to it. So before we get into all the different kinds of different types that there are, we're going to talk about scales. Scales are basically the size of the RC compared to the real thing. This little guy right here, little tiny RX-7, is a scale 187. So it's 187th the size of the real thing. Whereas you get something bigger like this guy here, this is a 110 scale. So this is a 1/10 scale size of the actual truck that would be. There isn't really an actual truck that is made like this, but for example, this one here, this is a 1/24 scale. Now these guys are rock crawlers. They're high articulation wheels and they go slow. They're not made to go really fast. Same thing with this guy. It can go a little quickly, but they're mainly made for like lumbering over rocks and going real slow. So now we've got scale covered. We'll talk about the different classes. Some of the different classes, just like I talked about there, we have rock crawlers here. These are all different rock crawlers. Very popular in the 1/24 scale are these little trucks. You'll find these at hobby stores and around anywhere from $100 to $300, and they're really popular and they're really fun. Great for little kids and great for adults. The bigger stuff like this, these are more for adults. They're more serious. They have a lot of metal parts inside of them. Don't mind the duct tape. But you can upgrade a lot of parts, lots of compartmentalization. It's got a real metal transmission, real metal links, lots of really good stuff inside there. You get into things here, they're a little less hobby grade, but more fun. This is an aftermarket body, but this guy right here is basically just a buggy. And you can see under here, it's a lot more for like going really fast over bumps and dirt. So this is a really fun thing for kids. A lot of people get these buggies, race cars sometimes they're called, but usually they're called buggies. And you can get the buggies with a little wireframe too, where there's like no car body. It's more like just like a cockpit in the center. And those are really awesome too. Another class of the cars are drift cars. This is a really awesome entry-level drift car. It comes with rubber tires for off-road and also has some slicks for running on like hard surfaces like laminate, concrete, hardwood floors, things like that. But this one you can actually run in the dirt and the grass in a few places. It's got a little bit of suspension and it's got a gyro stabilizer so that it helps you keep like the nice drifts going. They don't all come like that. This one here is a little bit right around the same price point, but you see it's got a little bit more realism. This one's got hard slicks. These are what they call slicks. They're like hard plastic. And basically these ones are good for running around inside your house. This isn't a really good one for on pavement. It'll flip over and it's not so great for that. Again, these guys are in the anywhere from $100 to $300 range. This guy right here is about $150 and that guy there is about $150. I'll try to put links up in the bio for most of these guys. This guy's not a drift car. This is a little race car. You could set him up as a drift car, but it comes with rubber tires. And it's basically just a little bit smaller than a Hot Wheel. It's a pretty cool little device. All right, now we're going to get into some of the more unusual RCs you can get, some of the more different classes without wheels. This example here has a 3D printed body like a Jawa Sandcrawler on here, but the bottom right here, this is a drift tank. It's meant for some high speed, marginally high speed. It's a tank, right? So it can't go super fast, but it's based off of a Ripsaw, if you've seen that before. We'll take a look online in a minute at what this looks like originally. But this is an example of a tracked vehicle that you can get, high speed in this class. And pretty cool, pretty fun. It drifts around in the sand and the snow, all sorts of places. You can also get regular tanks, like military tanks with high detail, really high realism. They're a little bit more expensive. This guy's in the $100, $150 range, depending on the battery package you get with them. All right, and the next kind of class we got here, actually we should check out boats first. Boats are a pretty big class that you can get online. They're very basic boats. They're all just water they take in a little water line and they have a motor that spins inside and the water cools the motor and spits out the back, and then that's what moves them with the propeller too. And they have so there's a jet boat that'll spit the water and also a propeller boat. This is a propeller boat. and it's got a rudder on the back. It's pretty basic. You can get these very inexpensive, anywhere from $50 to $150, very quick on the water. A lot of them have self-righting, so if they flip over in the water, you just give it a twitch of the throttle and it'll flip itself over. A good thing to get to is one with a bumper on the front, because these things can go pretty fast into like a boat or a dock or something. All right, and the final unique class we have is motorcycles. Motorcycle RCs are a pretty unknown class of RCs because they're very hard to drive because of the balance. A lot of times they'll have ones with little like training wheels on the side. This one is a really unique one. It has this universal, I can't remember what they call it, Omni wheel, I believe. Well, basically it has a wheel inside this wheel. It can rotate back and forth that way and this way. And there's a gyro stabilizer in this one, and it'll move the back of the bike and it'll move the front shocks to keep it stable and keep it up. Actually, there's a really cool catwalk function where it just balances right on its tail. I'll show a video of that later as well. Alright, so I think those were most of the unique classes of on-the-ground vehicles. We got a couple in-the-air vehicles we're going to give you a look at in 1 second as well. Alright, so we're going to talk about the RC vehicles of the air that you can get. There's all sorts of different things, and there's videos online where you can get into real detail. But some of the best ones out there that you can get into at a hobby level are the Tiny Whoop drones. Little tiny guys like this, fit in the palm of your hand, incredibly fast. You can get them with 1S, 1 battery, or 2S, that is super fast. They are FPV, so they have a goggle set you have to match up, and they are very quick, very fun, not for kids. Another really fun thing you get into, just some simple RC airplanes. This one's been through a little bit of damage, but this one was just off of Wish for I think $25. Only has 2 propellers, so the controls are a little bit different than a traditional airplane, but it is really fun. I highly recommend these things just for a little play with your kids. These are really good. I do have a higher quality RC airplane, which we'll look at in a little bit, but those are pretty much all the different kinds and types of RCs that you can get. There's definitely some other ones out there in different classes and types, and I do apologize if I missed any. One other one I do want to mention is there's a whole tier of construction type RC, like little diggers and bulldozers, trail groomers, and all sorts of really cool things like that. So if you're into little unique things, there's probably an RC out there for you.